Bill Gouge here from Pentax Canada. This morning we're going to go over the new K-20D and the K-200D, the two new mid-level models from Pentax. We'll start off on the K-20D, which introduces a brand new 14.6 megapixel CMOS sensor. This is the first CMOS sensor that Pentax has used. It's jointly developed with Samsung TechWin and has a number of technological improvements over previous CMOS sensors that are out there. The biggest change is in the amount of circuitry around the individual photo sites. That's been shrunk down significantly so that with this 14.6 megapixel sensor, we now have the same size of photo site as our competitors are using in 12.2 megapixel sensors. So there's no hit in sensor size or photo site size relative to the increase in pixels. And yet we're giving almost 20% more pixels in the same area. This is some of the improved information availability on the screen, giving you more information about the new picture styles. Both models now feature 6 picture styles that allow you to customize the way the camera is going to record an image. And those can be stored. You can actually, with the remote assistant software on the K20, download those and store them as profiles to transfer them between models. There's a number of new lenses that have been announced and that will be shipping shortly. The new 200, this is the 16 to 50 SDM that's been shipping since last November. Additionally, we've added a 200mm 2.8 that'll be shipping in the next week or so, so the start of February. There'll be a 300 f4 about a month after that. A 35mm limited edition macro, which gives the same field of view basically as a 50 macro on 35, with extremely high performance like all the limited series. There'll be a 55 to 300 that'll be launching as well. Later in the year, there'll be a 17 to 70 2.8, a 50mm 1.4, a 60 to 250. So the lens range is broadening significantly over the while. We've also added a feature on the camera that allows the user to adjust the back focus or front focus for individual lens models. The camera will store up to 20 different lens models with one generic setting for old non-recognized lenses. So lenses that don't have the model information in them are still able to be adjusted, but you only have one memory for those. Otherwise, you can store for 20 different models of lenses in the camera. We're adding a new feature to a lot of the lenses, which is the new SP coating on the front element. And this is in addition to the super multi-coating. It's a very slippery coating, very hard, and it prevents oil, water, etc. from sticking to it. Now, particularly with the SDM lenses, if you're out in the field shooting in bad weather, water drop hits it, it's going to roll right off. So it's not going to beat up on the lens, which is another advantage. We've also introduced a new 18 to 55, the 18 to 55-2, and this was required because the resolution on the original lens, the 18 to 55-1, while it was still the top-rated kit lens out there, was not high enough to handle the 14.6 megapixel. So this now brings this lens up to the same quality level that we had with lenses like the 16 to 45. Find it here. Well, pixel mapping, this is something else that's really slick. If you get a dead or hot pixel appearing on your sensor, you can actually, in the camera, have the camera check and map those out of the image. And then it has algorithms that will then look at the area around those pixels and fill it in. Normally, you'd have to send the camera in to service to do that. Here, you've got it right in the camera. File name, you can adjust the file name. So if you've got multiple bodies, you can customize that. And where am I here? LCD color tuning. I can actually white balance the LCD. So if I'm in different lighting conditions, I can make sure that what I'm seeing here is a true representation of the color. One of the problems you have, when you're doing manual white balance, for example, you're checking the manual white balance, you're under fluorescent lights, all of a sudden, is the white balance correct because you haven't zeroed out your screen? So this gives another level of color management in the body.
Weather-resistant body?
Both of them have the same degree of weather resistance of the K10, which was industry leading. And this is interesting because at a much lower price points than some of the other weather-resistant, dust-resistant product out there, we're offering more weather resistance And on all the SDM lenses, they're also giving you weather and dust resistance. You can see here on the back of the SDM lens, there's actually an O-ring around the lens mount. And then further, there are seals on all the moving parts, switches on the lenses. Okay?
What degree of weather resistance? Could you use it in a thunderstorm, say?
Yes, you could use it in a hurricane.
Uh-huh.
Now, you might want to be anchored firmly. You can pour a bucket of water over the camera. You can be out, go to Death Valley, pour a bucket of sand or dust over it. It'll keep on shooting.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.